Good morning, grade 4s. Today we're going to talk about converting square units instead of just regular units. So, as we know, there are 12 inches in a foot. That's length. And there are 3 foot in 1 yard. Those are pretty common things that we should know by now. However, square units are a bit different because a square unit means that it is the unit times the unit itself. So, for example, 1 square inch is equal to 1 inch times or by 1 inch. And now if you do 1 times 1, that's just going to give you 1 square inch. It doesn't actually change the measurement there. But when we're talking about how many inches are in a foot, that number is a little bit different. So for example, 1 square foot here is equal to 1 foot times 1 foot. Now, 1 foot has 12 inches into it, so that's the same thing as saying 12 inches times 12 inches. Well, 12 times 12 doesn't give us 12, it gives us 144 inches. So 1 square foot is equal to 144 square inches, and that is why. And that makes sense if you think about it. For example, if this is your square foot, that means that this distance is a foot. It would have like 12 marks in here. It would have 12 marks in here. Each one of those would be a square inch all on its own. That's a lot of square inches. So a number like 144 square inches totally makes sense. So that's why that one works. It's the same sort of thing with square yards. 1 square yard is the same as saying 1 yard times 1 yard. Well, how many feet are in a yard? That's 3 feet. So that's the same thing as 3 feet times 3 feet. 3 times 3 gives us 9 square feet. So that's the same as saying, let's say this is our square yard for a minute. Each yard has 3 feet in it. So there we go. If we look at all the square feet in this, there isn't just 3 square feet. In 1 square yard, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 square feet. So that's why those work. You don't necessarily need to remember that for right now, grade 4s. All you need to remember is 1 square foot equals 144 square inches. And you also need to remember that 1 square yard is equal to 9 square feet. And that is going to help you with some of the measurement problems for today. So for example, you'll have questions like this. How many centimeters are in a meter? 100 centimeters equal 1 meter. How many feet are in 1 yard? There's 3 feet in 1 yard. But how many square feet are in 1 square yard? That number would be 9 because there are 9 square feet in 1 square yard. So just watch out for the square measurements. They're not the same as the regular measurements. Now today's math also has a bit of a tricky question for you guys that I want to go over. It says find the perimeter and the area of these rectangles. It doesn't give you a drawing, but it does give you some measurements. So this time you have to remember the formula both for perimeter and for area. So to help me out, I'm just going to write those down right away. I'm going to do P equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, all the way outside the shape. And then I'm going to write the area formula. Area is equal to length times width. There we go. Now that I have my 2 formulas, I can find those with ease. So wherever I see an L, I put a 5. 2 times 5 plus wherever I see a W, I put a 4. 2 times 4. And then I solve that. 2 times 5 gives me 10. 2 times 4 gives me 8. 10 plus 8 gives me 18, and because we're measuring the outside of the shape, we're going to use the regular unit, which is inches. There we go. Now let's find the area. Area is equal to length times width. So wherever I see an L, I'm going to put a 5, and wherever I see a W, I'm going to put a 4. So it's equal to 5 times 4. 5 times 4 gives me 20 square inches. Why did I use square inches? Well, if we're talking about area, we're talking about covering the inside of a shape, and in order to do that, we need square units, not just regular units. So there we go, grade 4s. Have a lovely time with that.